Hello friends, welcome. Friends, TRAI has come out with a report of drive test in 4 different cities. New Delhi, Jaipur, Ahmednagar, Ahmednagar in Maharashtra and Hyderabad in Andhra Pradesh. Now, this drive test was done with a purpose. The purpose was to evaluate the various quality of service parameters and how a particular operator fare against the other in those dimensions. Like for example, download speed, upload speed, call setup time, etc. Right? Call failure time. Now, friends, when you look at this report, you will find that the report is very useful to understand the operator. Sorry for that. To understand the operator's network structure means which frequency band has been used to deploy what technology. Why it is important? The reason it is important is that the operator's ability to deliver future services depends on that. Operator's ability to deliver services in every nook and corner of the city, for example, indoor, outdoor, right, also depend upon what technology has been the focus of deployment of the operator. For example, if a low frequency band is used for a particular kind of technology, then when you are using a handset in an auto selection mode, then if the coverage is going to be better and the powers are going to be better for the technology which has been deployed in the lowest frequency band, then you will be automatically get locked into that particular technology and you will not get locked into a technology which is deployed in the higher frequency band. So your ability to experience a service depends upon the network structure which the operator has adopted in a particular city, and these drive test reports are going to become a very interesting tool to determine that. And how did I do that? I have explained in the article that I wrote with a title, India's 5G Reality Check. TRAI finds operators are stuck on 4G, BSNL largely on 3G and 2G. This was the gist of the conclusion, which you can see right in the title. Now, how did I do that is what I am going to explain in this article. This is a very long and elaborative article. To make it simple for those users who don't want to read, I am recording this video for those listeners. Okay. So let's go step by step. Let's first understand what is the kind of network the operators have deployed in Delhi. For example, in Delhi, what TRAI has done, the team which was entrusted with this work, what they have done, they adopted 2 different type of approaches to do the drive test. One they did for voice call performance, another they did for data performance. Now the voice call performance was limited to only 3G and 2G. So what does it mean? It basically means a device was used which was in auto selection mode and it would lock into only 2G and 3G bands. It is not going to lock into 4G and 5G. So as to understand that how their voice performance, it is understood that voice is going to be in 2G and 3G, though there are 4G voices are also available, but this is how the test was done. Now when they did that test, since they are only focused in 3G and 2G, you can understand that how the 3G and 2G network has been deployed and how they are intertwined into a particular band. And let me explain what I mean by this. So if you look at this particular chart where the maps are drawn, you will find that MTNL has been shown here. Then we have got Vodafone Idea is here and Airtel is here, and Reliance Jio doesn't have any 2G and 3G network. Therefore, Reliance Jio has not been shown here. Now you will find that if I just zoom out a little bit, you will find that for MTNL, as far as Delhi is concerned, the 3G, if you do a drive test, you will be locked into the 3G network for 99.96% of the time. Means whatever the hours spent when the drive tests were done, it was found that the handset which was used got locked into the 3G network for 99.96% of the time and 2G only for 0.04% of the time. What does it mean? MTNL has in Delhi 2G spectrum in 900 MHz band and 3G spectrum in 2100 MHz band. So I'll show you how the 3G spectrum and 2G spectrum are distributed. So you look at the 2100 MHz band and in Delhi, so Delhi is here. So you'll find that this is the Delhi, right, block. And if I just go and put my cursor on this, you'll find that this orange color is basically MTNL. So you can see MTNL has got how much? 5 megahertz of spectrum in Delhi circle. And if I go to 900 megahertz band here, sorry, it is 800. So let me just go to 900. In 900 in Delhi, you will find that MTNL is here. This is 6.2 megahertz spectrum. So because by looking at this particular chart, you will find that MTNL, when the drive tests were done and in MTNL network was selected, most of the time it was locked into 3G. So it is my understanding that MTNL is using the 900 megahertz spectrum also, right? So if you see 900 megahertz spectrum, this is the light green. You'll find for 3G. If they did not use the 900 megahertz for 3G, then it is not possible that when you are doing the drive test, the handset will get locked into the 3G technology for 99.96% of the time. So this is a very important insight that MTNL has a very minimal 2G network and most of their network is 3G, which is in the 2100 megahertz band as well as in the 900 megahertz spectrum band, right? 5 megahertz in 2100 and 5 megahertz in 900. Now let's go and evaluate what kind of network structure Vodafone Idea has. So again, I will go to my chart where I have frequency. So you'll find that in Delhi, Vodafone Idea has 10 megahertz of 900 megahertz spectrum, right? This blue color, if you see, this is Vodafone Idea. And this is Delhi, right? And then if I go to 1800 megahertz band here, you will find that in Delhi, Vodafone Idea has got how much? This is Reliance Jio. The Vodafone Idea has got around 10.6 megahertz spectrum in Delhi. So this is the block of spectrum Vodafone Idea has 10.6. And then in Delhi, Vodafone Idea has, let's talk about the 2100 megahertz spectrum. In 2100 megahertz spectrum, Vodafone Idea has how much? They have got 5 megahertz, right? Now, since in this particular chart, if you see that 3G spectrum, they are locked into 3G for 89.67% of the time and compared to 2G, it very, very clearly means that Vodafone Idea must have their 3G network in a lower frequency band than the 2G network. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to get locked into 3G network only. And where the most likelihood of their 3G network would be, because it is getting locked in 3G, which is going to be 900 megahertz band, because in 900 megahertz band, Vodafone Idea has how much? Vodafone Idea actually has got 10 megahertz. So the portion of 900 megahertz band in Delhi, definitely Vodafone Idea is using for 3G. Otherwise, it is not possible for the network to get locked into the 3G mode only for 89.67% of the time. And 2G must have been in the 1800 megahertz spectrum. And that's why you will find that the 3G is preferred first compared to 2G, right? So what I basically mean by is that this 10 megahertz of spectrum, maybe it is possible that 50% of this spectrum is for 4G and 50% is for 3G. That's how I think Vodafone Idea has deployed their network in Delhi, which is very interesting insight to understand that 3G is being not just in 2100 but in 900 megahertz also. Otherwise, you would not have got this kind of map. Now let's look at Airtel. Now if you look at Airtel, 100% of the time Airtel is locked into 2G network, which is red, right, shown here. So let's look at the structure of Airtel spectrum. You'll find that Airtel has got how much? 6 megahertz of spectrum in 900 megahertz as far as 6 megahertz of 900 megahertz spectrum. Now if I go to the 1800 megahertz spectrum band Airtel, you will find that in Airtel has got 7 megahertz spectrum in 1800 megahertz band. And if I go to 2100 megahertz spectrum band, you will find that Airtel has how much? It has got 15 megahertz spectrum in 2100. Now since Airtel users are locked into 2G, right, when the drive test is done, and 3G is 0, which basically means that Airtel doesn't have any 3G network in Delhi. They have unwind their 3G network in the 2100 megahertz band. They have got 0 3G network, and most probably their 2G network either will be in the 900 megahertz spectrum or will be in the 1800 megahertz spectrum. That's why you will see that everywhere you are locked into only 2G network, and you find 0% time in 3G, right? So this is one very important insight as far as Delhi is concerned. Now let's look at from the point of view of a auto selected mode, which is going to be completely brought across all technologies from 2G to 5G. Now, if that is done in an auto selection mode, you will find that Airtel's users are locked into 4G network for most of the time. Almost 92.53% of the time, Airtel users are locked into 4G, right? Compared to 2G is very, very minimal. Now, this throws a very important insight. What does it throw? It basically tells us that the 900 megahertz spectrum of Airtel, which they have in Delhi, which is how much? Which is 6 megahertz, is probably is for 4G, not for 2G. If it was used for 2G, then there's a likelihood that the handset, which is in auto selection mode, would have locked into this particular network, which is the 900 megahertz spectrum band, which has got better coverage, which you can see from this particular chart. So that's why we can understand that Airtel's network is structured in such a way that 900 megahertz spectrum as well as the 2100 megahertz spectrum completely used for 2G, for 4G, and 2G is probably in the 1800 megahertz band, which is very less compared to, I think, other operators. So if you look at Delhi, Airtel, Bharti has only 7 megahertz of spectrum in 1800 megahertz band. Now let's look at what is going on in MTN. Now MTNL, you will see that it is only 3G, which basically means that MTNL doesn't have any 4G network. If there was 4G available with MTNL, then there was a possibility of MTNL user to be locked into 4G, because 700 megahertz band is lower than 900 megahertz spectrum. So there is zero deployment as far as 4G is concerned, as far as MTNL is concerned in Delhi. That's why MTNL, whether it is voice domain test or data domain test, you are only locked into 3G network. Now let's look at Reliance Jio. Now Reliance Jio will find that the handset in auto selection mode is locked into 5G network for only 38.11% of the time, and 4G in 61.89% of the time. Now this is very strange, and you will find that this violet color, right, is basically, I think the violet color is 5G, and this green color is 4G. So you'll find that the pockets of 5G, even in a city like Delhi, is not very much ubiquitous, because there are 5G deployments mostly in the bottom part of the map. In the middle part of the map, you'll find that 4G is more dominant, because 5G is in dots. So it very clearly points to the fact that since Jio has got 10 megahertz of spectrum in 800 megahertz band for 4G and 10 megahertz spectrum for 700 megahertz band for 5G, which is the lowest frequency band, and since the 5G is not getting selected in an auto selection mode, very clearly points to the fact that the density of the base station for 5G in the 700 megahertz band is going to be considerably less compared to the density of base station in the 800 megahertz band. And that's why you see that the 4G's lock-in time is 61.89% versus 5G's lock-in time for 38.11%. Now, if you look at VI is all 4G. Now you have seen that the VI spectrum, the Vodafone Idea has got how much? 10 megahertz of spectrum. Sorry, Vodafone Idea has got 10.6 megahertz spectrum in 1800 megahertz band. It has got Vodafone Idea has got around 10 megahertz of spectrum in 900 megahertz spectrum band. So as I told you that if you are in the 3G mode, you are locked into 3G, and now in 4G mode you are locked into 4G, right? When you are in the data mode, you are locked into 4G. Clearly points to the fact that there is 5 megahertz deployment in 900 megahertz spectrum for 3G, and rest of the 5 is basically for 4G. And the 15 megahertz spectrum that you saw that Vodafone Idea has, I think 15 megahertz. Vodafone Idea in Delhi has got 5 megahertz spectrum in 2100 megahertz. That also probably Vodafone Idea is using for 4G, which is the reason why you will see that Vodafone Idea is all green and it is all 4G. 99.57% of the time is 4G, and only for a short period of time, which is 0.13% of the time, is 2G. So that clearly points to the fact that Vodafone Idea has deployed a very strong 4G network. Their 3G network is there, but their 2G network is very minimal as far as Delhi is concerned. So this is as regard Delhi is concerned, right? Now, if you look at Hyderabad also gives a similar kind of conclusion. Here you will find that Airtel has got zero 3G network. everything is red means they are 100% of the time they are locked into, a user is locked into 2G. BSNL is a mix of 2G and 3G. And we will look into BSNL spectrum allotment plan in Hyderabad, and you will see that why BSNL, the users are locked in between 2G and 3G in the mode which is 3G 2G mode, which is for voice testing mode, right, using the auto selection device. And for VIL it is all 2G. So it is very clear, one thing is very clear, is that neither VIL nor Airtel in Hyderabad has any 3G network. Otherwise there would have been some lock-in on 3G, some for minor, it cannot be zero. And for BSNL, it is a mix between 2G and 3G. So let's look at their spectrum situation. So when I go to 900 megahertz spectrum, as far as 900 megahertz band is concerned, you will find that in AP, Vodafone Idea has got 7.4 megahertz in 900, and Bharti has got 9 megahertz in 900, and BSNL has got 6.4 megahertz in 900. Please remember that. And when I go to the 2100 megahertz spectrum, you will find that AP, Bharti has got only 5 megahertz, and BSNL has got 10 megahertz, and Vodafone Idea has got 5 megahertz. And 1800, if I go to 1800, you will find that Vodafone Idea has got, Bharti has got 2100 megahertz spectrum in 1800, Vodafone Idea has got 10 megahertz, and BSNL has got nothing, right? So given this spectrum situation, one thing is pretty clear, that Airtel's 2G deployment can either be in 900 or in 1800. VIL also the same thing. BSNL is going to be, might have split their spectrum of the 2100 megahertz, because they have a 10 megahertz in one 5 megahertz for 3G and one 5 megahertz for 4G. We'll see that whether the 4G plan network shows up or not. And they have got 900 megahertz they have deployed for 2G, right? But when we go for the data selection mode, where 2G to 5G is basically getting evaluated, how they are going to perform on the data, you will notice that Airtel is all green, which means 96.29% of the time, and the handset is locked into their 4G network, and 5G is only 3.17% of the time. BSNL, the network is not changed. It is all, you can see sky blue and blue. It clearly shows that there is no 4G network in BSNL at the time when the test was done in Hyderabad. So BSNL doesn't have any 4G. It means that the 2100 megahertz spectrum that the BSNL has, the 10 megahertz of the block that they have, they either have fully used it for 3G, or one block is empty. Okay. Now Reliance Jio is a mix now. They have got 55.52% of their time locked in 5G, and 46.44% of the time they are locked in 4G, which basically means that their network 4G 5G network is better in Hyderabad compared to their 4G network, and their base station deployment as far as 700 is concerned is probably at par or better compared to 4G, and that's why the users are getting locked into 5G more compared to what they have locked into 4G. And there is no 3G and there is no 2G as far as Reliance Jio is concerned. Now Vodafone is 4G. You see, all green. There is no 5G here, which we know. But strangely, Airtel also, if it's all green, means there is no 5G. So the 5G's intensity of deployment as far as Airtel is concerned in Hyderabad is pretty low. Vodafone Idea, we didn't expect 5G. So looks like that their network is primarily 4G. Right? So now comes to the Jaipur deployment trend. Now if you look at Jaipur, again you will find that Airtel has got 0 3G. Their main focus is only 2G. BSNL is 2G and 3G mix, where you will find that the 3G spots are very, very thin, and they are kind of dots in this plan, and the 2G is more pervasive, and there is more ubiquitous. So you'll find that 3G is only 36.12% of the time, and 2G is 63.86% of the time, and Vodafone is again all 2G, and 3G is very minimal, which clearly points from this particular mode of 2G to 3G, 2G and 3G voice measurement mode in auto selection. You will find that Airtel very clearly that they don't have 3G network. Even the VIS 3G network deployment is pretty thin, and BSNL is a mix of 3G and 2G. So let's look at the spectrum plan as far as which city is called. We are talking about Jaipur, means Rajasthan. So let's go again and look at starting from 900. So if 900, if you see, Rajasthan is here in down below, you'll find that Vodafone Idea has got 6.8 megahertz of spectrum in Rajasthan. Bharti has got 10 megahertz of spectrum in Rajasthan, and BSNL has got 6.4 megahertz spectrum in Rajasthan, right? Then we have got 1800 megahertz spectrum in Rajasthan. So in 1800 megahertz spectrum, Bharti has got 15, Vodafone Idea has got 10, BSNL doesn't have anything. And in 2100 megahertz spectrum band, if I go here, you'll find in Rajasthan we have got VI has got huge 15 megahertz spectrum, BSNL has got 5, and then we have got Bharti has got 15. Both of them have got 15. So in light of this spectrum deployment plan, so what we come to know, that we basically very clearly we come to a conclusion that Airtel might have either deployed their 2G network in 900 or in 1800, but looks like that when you go to the 4G network plan, it is most likely that Airtel has deployed the 2G network in the 1800 megahertz band. Otherwise, when you are in an auto selection mode where all the technologies are being evaluated from 5G to 2G, you'll find this is all green, which can't be, because if the 2G was in the lowest frequency band in the 900, then it would have locked into 2G, not in 4G. Therefore, it clearly proves that Airtel is using their 900 megahertz for deployment of 4G. Now, BSNL, there hasn't been significant change, though there has been some deployment of some amount of time they are locked into 4G, which is 3.92%. This clearly proves that whatever they have deployed in Jaipur in 4G is very, very minimal. And since they have got only 5 megahertz of spectrum, their 2100 megahertz is going to be used for 2G. So their deployment of 4G in Jaipur is going to be 700, and therefore their 700 megahertz deployment is pretty thin. Clearly points to the fact that they have only 3.92% of the time they are locked in, and most of the time their network is getting locked in 2G, means that 2G deployment is more pervasive in the 900 megahertz band, where they got 6.2 megahertz spectrum, and that 3G is 22.87%, means 2100 megahertz spectrum still is used for 3G. Now, if you look at Reliance Jio, you'll find Reliance Jio, the 5G is only 17.65% of the time they are locked in. And as far as 4G is concerned, it is 82.34% of the time. It clearly shows that their network deployment in 700 megahertz spectrum, as far as 5G is concerned, in Rajasthan is pretty minimal compared to their 800 megahertz spectrum. And VIL, 100% of the time their deployment is in 4G. It clearly proves that they virtually have very little deployment. Though you see, as far as 2G to 3G mode, there is completely this is all 2G. It shows that the low frequency spectrum that Vodafone Idea has, which is in the 900 megahertz band, which we just saw. So let's go to 900 again, see how much spectrum Vodafone Idea has in Rajasthan. You will find Vodafone Idea Rajasthan has got 6.8 megahertz spectrum in 900, which is probably used by 4G, and their 2G network is in 1800 megahertz spectrum band. Otherwise, you would not have seen complete red here, which is 2G, because it is in higher frequency band, and since it is in a 2G to 3G selection mode, that's why you get locked into here. But as soon as you open it for 2G to 5G, you locked into 4G only, shows that 900 megahertz spectrum for Vodafone is used for 4G, right? Now let's look at the final city, which is Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. Now in Ahmednagar, Maharashtra, when we do a voice only 2G to 3G voice only auto selection mode, you'll find Airtel is in 2G. There is no 3G here. BSNL is in a mix of 3G and 2G, and their 3G is higher, 55.21% compared to 2G, which is 44.269%. And VIL is fully 2G, and there is no 3G. So one thing is very clear here. Again, in Ahmednagar, which is in Maharashtra, Airtel doesn't have any 3G network in 2100. They have unwinded it for 4G. VIL does not have any 3G network. They only have 2G. And BSNL has got 3G and 2G, and their 3G deployment is pretty intense. So let's look at their spectrum plan. So if you look at Maharashtra in 900, you will find in Maharashtra, very interestingly, Bharti does not have any low frequency spectrum. Only 14 megahertz of spectrum that is only belonging to Vodafone Idea. And BSNL has 6.2 megahertz spectrum. Now, if you look at the 1800 megahertz spectrum in Maharashtra, the Maharashtra is where? Maharashtra is here. You will find that Reliance Jio has got 20 megahertz, Vodafone Idea has got 12.4 megahertz, and Bharti has got 20 megahertz of spectrum in 1800. So their lack of spectrum in 900 is somehow getting supplemented by their 1800 megahertz spectrum. And in 2100 megahertz spectrum, if you go here, you'll find in Maharashtra, Vodafone Idea has got 15 megahertz of spectrum, and Bharti has got 10 megahertz spectrum. So Vodafone Idea is pretty strong in Maharashtra, and BSNL has got 10 megahertz spectrum as far as 2100 is concerned. So in light of this, if I again start evaluate this, it very clearly shows that Airtel's deployment of 1800 2G is in 1800 megahertz spectrum band. BSNL might be using, BSNL definitely has got their 3G in 2100 and in 1800 and in 900 megahertz. Otherwise, they would not have, you could not have seen this kind of map. And VIL has got a strong presence in 900. So we have to look into their data network to see where they have deployed their 2G. So since their data is, if you look at the data part of their plan, when it is in the mode where 2G to 5G is getting auto-selected, it is fine. You find that 100% of the time Vodafone is getting network is getting locked in 4G, means their 900 megahertz spectrum is extensively used for 4G, and maybe their 2G is in the 1800 megahertz or a portion of the 900 megahertz spectrum. Now similarly, if you look at Airtel, it's all locked in into 4G. 90.19% of the time the network is locked in into 4G, and 5G is very minimal, 9.81% of the time, which clearly proves the fact that they have deployed significant amount of network in 1800 megahertz spectrum. 2G may be there, very minimal, but most of their deployment is on 1800 for 4G because they have got 900. Then 2100 that they have is fully utilized for 4G because there you cannot do 2G, right? That's why Airtel, so it's very proof, conclusion here is that Airtel does not have in 3G and their 4G deployment is pretty strong compared to their 5G deployment, and 5G is very, very small, which really clearly proves that 5G is only in 3500 megahertz spectrum band. There is no other spectrum band where they have 5G. Similarly, BSNL is very interesting. You will find BSNL, the 4G is 58.02%, which proves that BSNL has deployed 700 megahertz spectrum here, probably in 2100 also, because in 2100 they have got two slots. One they have used for 3G and maybe one for 4G plus the 700 megahertz spectrum. Otherwise, this is not going to be so rich as in 4G because they have 2G in 900 megahertz spectrum 6.2. So BSNL, so in Hyderabad, in Ahmednagar, Maharashtra, BSNL's 4G deployment in 700 is pretty strong. Very clearly you can see from this data. RGO is also similar situation. 83.25% of the time their network is locked into 4G and only 16.75% time it is locked into 5G. Shows that their 700 deployment in Ahmednagar is thinner compared to their 800 megahertz 4G deployment. Right, so though they are deployed 4G in 5G in 700, but their deployment is thin. 4G deployment 800 is pretty strong. That's why you will find that 4G locking onto 4G network is 83.25% of the time. VIL 100% of the time 4G. You can imagine the kind of emphasis VIL has done on their 4G network. It clearly shows that they have done extensive deployment of 4G network, and their 2G is at the higher frequency band, which is the 1800, and therefore you will see no time spent on 2G network as far as this city is concerned. So in nutshell, what we basically conclude here, we conclude that Airtel doesn't have any 3G network. Similarly, you will find that Vodafone Idea's 3G network is also minimal, though they have 3G network in some places. BSNL actually is in a very difficult situation, except Maharashtra, which is in Ahmednagar, their 4G deployment is very minimal, non-existent. Reliance Jio, though they boast have a standalone 4G, 5G network, their 4G network is pretty stronger than 5G network, given the amount of time an user is being spent on 4G network. So it is very clear that if you look at this, Airtel has completely abandoned their 3G network, right? BSNL stand out as most unprepared operator as for modern network demand. Its 4G deployment is both fragmented and sparse. Vodafone Idea, on the other hand, aggressively consolidated around 4G and dismantled their 3G network. And since there is no 5G, therefore you can't five any 5G. Whereas Jio has got most of their network is on 4G, because when you go there, you'll find that you spend more time in 4G. It points to the fact that their 5G deployment is still not at par with their 4G deployment. Otherwise, 700 megahertz band being a lower frequency band in auto selected mode, though that particular spectrum band would have got selected. So that's all, friends, in this video. I hope that you understood how the network strategy of the operator is. I have looked at this from a completely different dimension than what TRAI has done, which gives a different flavor to this whole exercise, which is quite useful to understand the structure of the operator's network. And I hope that you have found this video useful, and I'll come back with a thank you for your time, and I'll come back with a new video next time. Thank you very much.